Okay, hey guys, it's Christine. I believe in your dreams, and today we're going to talk about reviewing the year. It's the last day of the year. How do you review? Did anybody teach you? A lot of times you'll see me and I'll be using paints and things like that, but I want you to know that what we do in Think Time is actually evidence-based, research-based, really great productivity tips and techniques. So when I move from this planner to this planner, how did I do it? How am I doing it right now? How do I review? There is a way, and there are 3 steps, and I do them in the same order every week, every month, every quarter, and every year. And so do our members every week, every month, every quarter, and every year. So, what are these 3 steps? I cannot believe we're about to close another year and move into 2026. So I want to give you 3 essential steps for reviewing your year, steps that will bring you clarity, that will really truly provide a springboard into the next year if you use them well. If you do them in the right order, they work together to help you see what's working, what matters, and where you want to go next. Miss one and you miss a lot. Yes, this works for ADHD brains especially. It's such an important exercise to go through. And so often we're moving forward, looking at the big pile, the big list of the things that we need to get done that we haven't gotten done, feeling guilty and pressure, when the thing that you really want to do is look backwards, because that provides so much clarity and ultimately so much momentum. So, what are the 3 steps and in what order? So, the first one is gratitude. And I hesitate to say it because I know everybody says be thankful. I know, just like breathing, right? If I breathe, but then if I'm gratitude, but my goodness, once you get the power of your breath, once you get the power of being grateful, it can actually, your brain actually can't be stressed and grateful at the same time. So we start with gratitude. It sounds simple, but it is powerful. And if you haven't seen my extensive reporting on the research with gratitude, then you should message me. I'll send you something if you want to hear more. I'll make another video or something. But I want you to ask yourself, what am I thankful for this year? And actually get out your planner and look back, because you've forgotten most of it. Go back and write, what am I grateful for, while looking at the things you did. Okay. Oh, that's right. I'm grateful for that. Oh my goodness, I'm grateful for that. Go through this exercise. It is so powerful. As you're looking at the gratitude, you can just remember what made you feel alive, proud, or joyful, how those things add to your gratitude, what relationships, what experiences, or what lessons will be carried forward from this year. And this is such a good day to do it. I want you to write these down because your brain needs to see it to process it fully. And yesterday we talked about all of the connections between the fingers and the hands and your brain. And so when you write it down, when you see it, the visual processing and the tactile processing in the fingers, combine those 2 things, and it's powerful. Draw pictures, write words, do both to process your gratitude. Okay. So maybe this was the year you finally set boundaries at work. Maybe this was the year you learned to ask for help. Or maybe this is the year that you just scheduled that trip and you took it, or you reconnected with an old friend. Gratitude is not just about feeling good. It's about recognizing, seeing the patterns. What are those things that you are grateful for in your life in 2025? Take a few minutes and jot down 3 to 5 things you are genuinely grateful for. I'm going to let you pause this video if you're watching it in the future. Go ahead and pause the video, do the exercise, and then come back, and I'll have 2 more steps for you. Okay, step 2 is performance. Okay, these are the performance questions. I learned these from Dr. Henry Cloud probably 10 years ago. I think it was the same year I was launching. He added these questions, and I thought those I will be bringing into the process. I don't remember in what context he was talking about them, but I remember writing them down immediately. And it was 2 questions, and they were so simple. What worked and what didn't? When you lived 2025, some things went well, some things did not go well. Some things worked, some things didn't. So often we don't ask this question and we continue to do the same things over again, 90% of the things, in fact. But with this quick pause, simply asking what's working, what's not working, then you can double down and do more of what's working and less of what isn't. Okay. And this will multiply, skyrocket, exponentially increase your results. Because when you cut out all the wasted time, and I have some things I've learned this year that did not work. You squeeze a fruit and there's no juice coming out. That is so important to notice, because if I'm going to keep doing the same thing, looking in the same place for the same thing, and it's not there, we're going to stop doing that. That's wasted time, wasted effort, wasted energy. And then you come over here and you're like, oh my goodness, this orange, look at all the orange juice I'm getting out of this. This works. This is providing the results I was looking for. So what did you do this year that provided the results you actually wanted? We don't do effort-based productivity. We do results-based productivity. What habits, routines, or strategies made the biggest difference? For me, there's this workout, and there's this, I have a workout instructor that results happen if I put myself in front of this instructor. That worked. I will do more of that in 2026. Staying up late, that doesn't work. There are other things that didn't work. What are those things? If you're having a hard time waking up in the morning, are you staying up too late? What are those things? Capture them and make a plan to not do them again. That's what you do with Think Time, as you meet once a week, once a month, once a quarter, once a year. The goal here is definitely not shaming yourself, beating yourself up. It is actually just learning from your life what actually moves the needle toward your goals. So for example, if you found that you're doing your planning in the morning worked, but trying to exercise after 8, that didn't ever stick. Maybe you took on too many commitments and felt scattered, or maybe you finally made progress on a big project that's been sitting on your list for years. Maybe you're looking for love in the wrong places. I love that phrase, looking for love in all the wrong places. Where is love found? Is it in a surprising place? Is it in a place that you thought it would be? Are the places that you thought it should be not working? How are your relationships? Which ones are working? Which ones aren't? What adjustments will you make in 2026? So you don't have to work on your plan yet, but right now we're just reviewing, finding out what worked, what didn't, and then eventually that will lead into your plans for next year. Celebrate what worked, note what didn't, and think about how you can double down on the wins and tweak what didn't work. Okay, the third is one that you may feel a resistance to. Before I say the third, let's go ahead and pause. If you're watching this on the replay, pause this right here. Make sure you capture the performance questions. What worked and what didn't. Walks on, walks off. Okay. Now you've pushed play. Step 3 is regret. What regrets do you have? What are those things that you did that you wish you wouldn't have done? What are those things that you didn't do that you wish you would have done? I know regret sounds heavy, but I want you to hear me out. When we deny that we regret something, we don't grow with that regret. When you live in a shame-free zone like Think Time, there's no just condemnation is the word that comes to my mind. There's no condemnation. When you are at Think Time, you are looking at your life, seeing what information you can gather to increase your opportunity to succeed in the future. So there's going to be some things that you're looking back at and saying, I didn't do very well. And if you look back and you're like, I did everything correctly, then that's information. Maybe more self-reflection and maybe getting more feedback from other people and believing them may be a good step. But when you look back, if you're a person who's able to see positives and negatives, then that's good. That's actually a very healthy thing to see regret and gratitude, both. I want you to hold both of these. We start moving into some unhealthy coping if we can't see the negative things that we regret, if we can't feel our shame, if we can't, we want to feel our shame without shaming ourselves, if that makes sense. There's guilt and there's shame, but there's a guilt of doing something or not doing something that if you capture it without condemnation, then you heal and you can use that information to do better things in the future, no matter what it was that you did. If you take it and you deny it because you can't feel your shame, it's going to inhibit a lot of growth and probably hurt the people closest to you. Okay. That's going to be an unhealthy coping strategy. So look at your life, be as honest as you can. What do you wish you would have done differently? Where did you hold back? Where did you settle for less than what you wanted? Again, it's not about shame or beating yourself up. It's about clarity. Everything here is about clarity. Your regrets show you what matters most to you, where you wanted to grow, who you wanted to be with, what you wanted to commit to, but you didn't quite make happen. Maybe you regret not carving out time for exercise, and that shows you health matters to you. Feeling good matters to you. Living a long time and being there for those you love matters to you. Maybe you regret not saying no to some things and overwhelming yourself, but then not being there for other moments that really mattered to you. And so that rolls very easily into a 2026 goal of boundaries and boundary setting and joining maybe Dr. Henry Cloud's Becoming Whole, or learning how to self-reflect on your life with Think Time and join this membership. Take a few minutes and write down 1 to 3 regrets, not to dwell, but to inform your goals and priorities for next year. Okay, so the 3 steps are: number 1, gratitude. What are you thankful for? The second one is performance, the performance questions. What worked well and what didn't work well? And then third, regret. What can I learn from the things that I wish I had done differently? Whether I did something I wish I wouldn't have done, or I didn't do something I wish I had done. Do these in order, starting with gratitude, moving to performance questions, and then moving to the harder one to face, which is, what do I actually regret? But that is so rich for getting close to your heart. And that is when you can make very aligned vision and values goals, when you can discover, even through that sensitive power of regret. So do these in order, and you'll create a powerful, actionable review of your year without getting lost in shame or overwhelm or endless reflection. Just do these one by one, right after the other. Okay. Most people don't have anyone teaching them practically how to review the year. You just sit there with a journal and kind of start thinking about it. But these are 3 steps you can use today. So if you want, I will be in the membership, and I want to invite you personally to join our membership. And I want to do that with the full conviction of what I have observed this year. The best thing that we have done as a business this year is build into this meeting time that is regular and a part of our members' lives. So Think Timers come once a week, Wednesday at noon, Central Standard Time. And it's on Wednesday where, if you travel, you might miss one. It's just, I like actually planning on Friday, but for a group to meet and have consistency, we've chosen Wednesday at noon because it's a time that really you can protect pretty well, just like a standing appointment every Wednesday at noon on Zoom. And then we meet once a month for monthly Monday, and then once a quarter, we'll meet on a quarterly Sunday, and then once a year, we'll take off a full 8 hours. And then hopefully you've taken 24 hours and are going on a little trip or staying at a hotel or something like that. Just a little getaway for you to reflect on questions like this and get perspective on your life and who you want to be. And so we provide 6 to 10 hours of guided coaching and planning every month. And so we have that. And then you also receive 1 skill builder a week. And what that does is it teaches you 1 step at a time, 15 minutes at a time, of just learning 1 skill. And if you can take 15 minutes of focus, I promise to deliver on the value of letting you zero in and put that brick in your strategy for your personalized peak performance plan. Okay. So every week you put 1 more brick in your personalized productivity plan, and that enables you to, over the course of a year or 2 years, complete 50 to 75 different lessons. I think I have 75 or 80 different lessons, but it's one at a time, one 15-minute lesson at a time. And I promise, never homework. We don't do homework here. So you come, you show up, you get the skill, you apply it, you go on to your life, and that's it. So I hope to see you on the inside. I have a special birthday bargain for us, which is 1 month free. I know one of the biggest hurdles for the ADHD leader is you think you've tried everything. And I just want you to try one more thing, but I also respect that it needs to work for you. And so I'm just going out there on a limb and offering a 1 month free trial. Come on in, see if it works. If it doesn't, no problem. And if you are like so many of the people who have tried it, within 2 weeks, their life is, it's humming in a way that it hasn't been humming in a long time, just from 1 hour of investment once a week. And so that is my promise to you, is to give you a month of free trial, and then you can decide if it works for you and decide to stay or not. And the people who started a year ago are still with us. The ones who show up and do the work are so glad they're still here and looking back and just shocked, knowing that nothing had ever worked for them before, but this does. So I am so glad that you chose to spend your time with me today. Let's see if we have any Q&A questions on this topic, and see where we are on YouTube here, and see where we are on Instagram. I think we're at a good place to answer just a few questions, and then we'll sign off. So write them in the chat. And then if you're watching this afterwards, you can always email me at cwilson@think-time.com. And you can always comment or DM me on Instagram as well. Where did that go? Okay. So okay. Okay, what is the best way to capture gratitude so it actually sticks and informs your next year? So the way I do it is I just write down everything I can. I write down everything I can that comes to mind. And I know sometimes people just say, 3 to 5 or whatever, but I just keep going and going and going. And just, it is amazing to me how many things there are to be grateful for. So it's one of those muscles that you, when you start, you can maybe get 3, but after you've used it again and again and again, and for years and for years and for years, and for me, it's, I'm at 10 years of every week, every month, every quarter, every year, asking myself, what am I grateful for? So that's so much so that even in some of the deepest trials, I have still been able to find gratitude. In the deepest injustices, I've still been able to find gratitude and model that for my children, model that for my friends and those I lead. And I feel really proud about that in a good, healthy, prideful way of that is the kind of person I want to be. And so, but it does take practice. And so it gets sticky. And I would just say all the research on gratitude is about practicing it regularly. And so that is the thing that, you want to do, but it's hard to do it. But then when you're in the Think Time membership, you just find yourself moving from exercise to exercise to exercise, and gratitude is always going to be one of those. So how can I review my performance without feeling like a failure for what I didn't accomplish? I think that's a great question. So, a lot of this work is internal. And I think when you do this regularly, like we're doing this every week, and when we can capture this isn't going well, and you can see week after week after week the benefit of capturing it for future growth, and then you watch yourself transform that capture into you becoming a better person, it almost becomes more tied with who you're becoming more than that you didn't get something done. I think it's human to not get things done. And so I really feel like there's a lot of just icky, toxic productivity out there, for lack of a better phrase. I just made that up. I can't say I have 6 kids, so I said icky. but just toxic productivity where it's very performance and it's external in performance. And this is going to be more of an internal out. And so the failure would be, in my mind, I think a reframe of not catching something that's not working would be the failure. If there's a failure to catch, it's that I'm not living the examined life, that I'm refusing to say, hey, I didn't do that well, or I didn't, that didn't work. I need to shift that. I think the higher in actual performance, not just puffed up performance, for the lack of a better term, you go, the more people are humble and say, hey, I really messed that up. I'm sorry. Very quickly, you're going to say, I'm sorry. But the more you have the puffed up, it's deflection, it's defense, it's denial. Those three things will keep you from living the examined life. Defensiveness, deflection. Oh, it's that person's fault. That didn't work because external circumstances, or denial. And I promise, like, I am still in recovery from all of these things. And so I'm always reviewing and reflecting, and I'm catching, oh, I was defensive there. Oh, I deflected responsibility. Oh, I'm in denial. All those things that, if you don't notice them, can lead to a spiral of, I would say, downward performance, even if external successes are there. But yeah, I'm rambling a little bit at this point, but yeah, definitely review performance. It's tough. I mean, it is tough. I'm we're watching, what's it called? A cooking show, the Master Chef. My daughter and I have been watching the Master Chef, and you get to see people's faces. Just, what's the feedback? And then, oh, like, oh, you don't like my cake. Oh, that steak didn't turn out well. You don't like the way I did that. There's a lot of emotion in getting that feedback. But if the people who could receive the feedback ended up ultimately getting the higher marks and the higher respect by the chefs, because people who take feedback can do better. And that is also, we can also, we'll do caveats on that later. But okay, how can I use regret as a tool for growth instead of spiraling into shame? So very related question. Regret is, oh my goodness, I honestly use this every week when I'm planning. Instead of, and this is a pro tip here for the ADHD leader, if you're watching this, we'll just know it's meant for you. But I think the secret to making good plans as an ADHD leader is not looking forward. I think it is envisioning yourself forward, looking back and saying, what would I regret not doing? And that gives clarity fast. So if the goal is clarity, regret's one of the greatest tools to get there. So envisioning yourself forward, looking back with regret, saying what didn't get done. That's how I set my goals every week. What will I regret that I didn't get done? And that becomes, those become my priority rose bushes, my PRAs. Okay, my priority results areas. How often should I review my year? Just at the end or more frequently? Okay, well, I think you know my answer to this, like all the time, as often as you can. The more you review, the better your results will be. And so I have gratitude and growth. Do I have the think sheets? If you go to the store and click buy a planner, if you go to think-time.com and click buy a planner, and you can get gratitude and growth. Those are daily reflections where you look back on your day and ask, what am I thankful for, and what's working, what's not working. And now you can add regret to that. But the gratitude and growth think sheets show the daily application of this. Every think time weekly has the review phase right here, and you'll see I'm thankful for and a review. And so every week it's here, every month and every quarter. You can see in the quarterly, there's also a space right here. So, I mean, yeah, as often as you can. Obviously, once a year is good, and you can set an intention for your year. But the whole reason we have Think Time Planner today is because I did a lot of work at the beginning of the year, made a perfect plan, but by August I was like, I have no idea what my goals were. I don't even know. I don't know how to find them. They were on these little cards. I don't know. And then eventually I started trying to create a system to capture this goal setting and then actually be able to follow through on it. And it turns out that planning your year, planning your quarter, planning your month, planning your weeks helps take those long-term time frames and moving them into your daily reality. And so I would suggest reviewing as often as you can, every day, every week, month, quarter, and year. So I think that's good. So I hope that you've had a great 2025, and I would be honored to walk with you through this next season. If you are watching me on YouTube or on social, I want you to please click, excuse me. There's a subscribe to my email button at the very bottom of my website, think-time.com. Subscribe and get on my emails. I send out content that is like this. I think it's life-changing. It changed my life. And it's at least one life-changing. And then I see the members having their life changed as well. So a lot of free content. And then really something for every price point. So let me know how I can serve you, and like, share, subscribe, get something for free. And then when you're ready for just some guidance, support, change, and even a little bit of challenge to see if whole brain planning will work for you, I would love to see you on the inside of the membership. So think-time.com. I'm Christine. I believe in your dreams. Like, share, subscribe, and follow me. Bye-bye.